Welcome and good day, everyone. It is John the Net Guy. It is show number 421. This is Prime Big Deal Days. It's here. This is the second day of it. I wasn't able to stream yesterday, but I got a lot done around here to get ready because this is going to be an enormous show. I've got 10 different products on the show today. Some really cool tech deals. If you've tuned in before, you know how this goes. I already see a bunch of you joining the chat. Thank you so much for waiting a little bit patiently as I started a little late today. I'm going to get the Amazon and Amazonians going. Start streaming. Got to hit this button. This is my first time using this new phone, so let's hope this works. Stuff's always a challenge to get going. So once it goes, then we can hit live. It's going. It's thinking. What do we have today? Well, we've got a ton of products. I've got stuff for your home. The Jevi company, if you guys remember these guys, they came out with a couple new espresso makers. So they sent those to me. If you follow me on social media or Discord or other places, you've already seen it. So you've seen a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm like jittery today. I don't know what it is, if it's just because I haven't done a show in a few weeks here, or if it's the 16 shots I pulled this morning testing these units out. But they are absolute units. I also have some other cool stuff. I've shown you before thermal imaging cameras from Seek, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, we've got a new model coming out. Do you want to show everybody this new one? And I said, absolutely, I would love to. So we've got some thermal cameras coming up. There's a special deal right now, and I need to double check. There we go, the streaming. There's a special deal right now on an IP camera. So if you're following me on Twitter, you've already seen it. But I'm going to go ahead and double check here, make sure the video stream is live the way it's supposed to be, and then we'll get that going. The WiseCam OG. If you've seen my video on this, it is absolutely hilarious. There it is. The WiseCam OG. I don't know if that's supposed to be original generation. I have a whole video intro that's hilarious, has a bunch of different things that it could be. It is a lightweight version of the V3. So if you love the WiseCam V3, this one includes a spotlight already. They also came out at the same time with a 3X. So that you can see there's kind of a little barrel in there. It goes in. That's a telephoto lens, a 3X telephoto. You almost never see that on an IP camera. So you got your wide angle covered and you've got your close-up angle covered. They didn't stop there. They made a stacker kit. So you could literally have them pointed the same direction or do that. So when you got your CSI, your enhance, this actually kind of does that because it has the ability to zoom in, which is really slick, and it has the ability to use a single power cable for both of these. I saw this. It's not a published deal, but I saw this on one of my Wise groups. So I'm going to pull it up. If you're wondering where the deals are at, you see that URL below. We're going to want to bring that up. Give me 1 second here. If you bring that up, you're going to see my happy website looks something like this. If you go down to the Prime Big Deal Days stream, you're going to see all of the items that are for sale right now and that I'm bringing in on the show. In the lower right corner, there's this Wise deal. I told you this is going to be a great deal. You get a month of Cam Plus an IP camera, the WiseCam OG with the Starlight sensor, and it has the Spotlight additional stuff. This is the lowest price it says in 2 months with my little browser helper there, even though I'm not supposed to talk prices, $9.98. And it is just a fantastic unit. Now you will have to cancel the free subscription that you get for that first month included. You'll cancel that, but you'll get to keep the camera. So you literally get a WiseCam OG for $9.98 if you have Prime. If you don't have Prime, it's a Prime only deal. Sorry. So that's we're back. Why Prime is such a good deal. I also really recommend the WiseCam Plus subscription, especially for outdoor use. These things are also waterproof. You don't see that in the Roku versions. You don't see that in all of the other brands. The Blinks, all of their indoor stuff can't be used outdoor. Wise just made everything outdoor. So pretty cool. That is the WiseCam OG. That's the first product up today. I'm going to say hi to a couple people now that we have some people flowing in. I see a couple friends of the show. Zachary's here. Thanks, Zach. Hopefully you didn't have a meeting today, but if you did, sorry. And Green's checking in on the YouTube side. Says greetings. Lastly, I see Adam Williams. Thank you for joining here. And thanks everybody here on the Amazon. I got to say, hey, everyone. Awesome. Welcome. And other sites that are watching right now. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and a bunch of other sites. So there we go. Well, let's get started. I've got a couple really cool products that I need to show you right away as we get going here. And then we'll get into the good stuff. I'm not allowed to do giveaways on Amazon when I'm streaming over there, but I would like to consider about giving away some of these things. So let me turn this monitor off so it's not annoying everybody in the background. So if you see something you like here, you can use the link down below to purchase it. I do, in all transparency, get a single-digit commission off of those. It's not enough to retire on, but it does keep the lights on. I'm saving myself for coffee, so I figured I would drink some water because we're going to make so much espresso today. But let me pull up the first product, and it's actually hidden. Where did I put that one? Oh, right below me. Now, this is a product that I got sent out, again, for a fair and honest review. It's an electric foam cannon. It's just unbelievable. I've shown you a few of these foam cannons, the foam lance, whatever you want to call them, but it puts foam onto your car. So it sprays that soap into a rich, lathery foam right onto your vehicle, RV, boat, whatever. But you've always needed to have high pressure water. You need to have something that can compress water. And get it out there at high pressure. This is a completely electric standalone version. So you put your soap and your water in here, and you can actually spray it and create that rich lather. To be honest, we've been washing cars wrong the entire time. If you think of what do, we take a bunch of soap, we throw it in a bucket, we fill that bucket with water, we get a rag out that's probably been dirty from the last time. We pick up that water and soap, and then we try to put it on the dirty car, which again is supposed to lift that dirt off and let it slough off the surface. And your wiping action is actually supposed to help that dirt come off of there. You're agitating it off. And then you go to rinse it with the hose, but then you put that mitt back in the same dirty bucket of water. You pull it back out. So there's a bunch of different methods. There's the 2-bucket method. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This cuts down on the amount of soap you use. I only use about an ounce of soap here in this demonstration. I'm going to show you guys the demonstration live. Let me know what you think about it in the chat. If this is something that you would be interested in, I'm going to pull it up real quick. So what I did actually earlier, and this is a quick unbox. Now it does come with some other accessories. It's going to have an extra spare parts here. It's going to have another foam sponge in there, and it is going to come with a wash mitt. I'm using the Chemical Guys 110 soap here. This soap is really cool. It can be used as a standard bucket soap. It can be used in a foam gun. It can be used in any sort of situation. And this is 50 milliliters of soap here. So again, a tiny amount of soap compared to what you'd normally use. And I did my whole truck, and I have half a container left of this. That's how much there is in this. So I fill it up here. I'm just giving you the exact raw. I think this is set to 2x. It's going to bump up to 4x as I start to use this. Oh, let me go ahead and tag this on Amazon while we're watching. So it is available right now on a sale. There's that rich lathery foam we're looking at spraying out of the cannon. It looks amazing. And honestly, it is. It's not as thick as you get or as fast as you get it out of the standard pressure washer versions. But in a pinch, the fact that this will work anywhere and it's completely standalone and you're not pumping anything. This is not a manual pump. This is USB-C rechargeable electric foam cannon. You can go ahead and do that. Now I filled some water here, just trying to get the texture just right. I wanted to see what happened if I thinned it out a little bit. Again, it uses so much less soap that I wasn't used to it. It only used about 50 milliliters. I go ahead and I fill my bucket here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the wash mitt. This is the Chemical Guys version, but they do include a free wash mitt with this as well if you don't have one. And I go through, and now I'm removing the dirt. Now you can rinse first and then do foam. I wanted to try it without because it wasn't very dirty and I wasn't taking a lot except some road dust off. But there we go. That's how quick it is to do basically a quarter of the vehicle. And then I spray it off real quick here. So again, very cool idea to have this whenever you need it. It does last for up to 2 hours, and like I said earlier, it is USB-C rechargeable. So I go here and I finish off and do the front, and you can see how cool that thing is. It's just a little foam sprayer. Once you put some soap in it, and you can use all sorts of car washes. I recommend the Chemical Guys, but that is the unit itself, and very, very good quality so far from what I can tell. It is not 100% waterproof. So let me show you on the side camera here, just what to be careful of. Right over here is the charging port. It is covered and you open it up and it's a USB-C. And if you push the button and it doesn't go right away, just push it down and wait. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds to build up pressure, which is completely normal. There's the front of the foam gun. You can go vertical, you can go horizontal, and you can tighten it back down. So that's all you need to know about this one. So very happy with this overall. It is available on Amazon right now for 39 bucks. Let's go take a look and I'll show you how you find that stuff. If you visit the link that's been scrolling around at the bottom, this is the Sylvanet foam cannon. And again, it's a brand new product, but it is available right now on a Prime Big Deal for $10 off. It is the lowest price that it's found for it as well. So there's what you get with it. There's the kind of foam that's a little rich here, but that's the kind of foaming you can expect. And the battery life, 4,500 milliamp hour battery, it's supposed to last over 2 hours of usage. I used it for about 15 minutes is all I needed for a very large truck, and that worked out really well. So that was our first product. We'll go ahead and put that away and we'll get out our next product. Now, our next product is much, much smaller. This is a product I've been using for a while from the Joyroom company. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because it's a pretty small product and I want you to be able to see it. So this has a ton of cool features. It is a portable wireless watch charger, but it's so much more than that. Now, I recently picked up an Apple Watch. I wanted to start getting healthy again. You know, it's the end of the year. You got to start thinking about that stuff. But one of the problems with the Apple Watches is constantly running out of battery. So, you know, you need to charge these things up at least once a day. You need to have that convenience. Well, this portable charger does so much. Instantly gives you the readout of the power that it has available. It's a USB-C charging. So you can, again, plug this in and charge your headphones. Or you can charge your iPhone. Now, it's not a huge power brick. If you see, it fits in the bottom of the palm of my hand. So it's only going to give your iPhone about 20% in a pinch if you need it. But it is going to charge your AirPods or any USB-C device. And it's going to wirelessly charge your phone. Now, it's got that built-in light. Here is my Apple Watch. And what I love about it is you can literally just put it underneath there. And you're going to see the Apple Watch light up here and show that it's charging. Now, it does have this glow light that you can turn on and off. So you can have that glowing or not. The other cool thing I like about this, it is also available on a great price today. Let me go ahead and put this out of the way. The other thing I like about this is that the loop connects up here to the plug, and you could loop that on a backpack. So if you've got kids maybe that have their own Apple Watches, which are also on sale right now for Prime Day, you can get something like this for them, and they can use it as a night light, maybe a safety or a walking light, and that uses almost nothing. So very happy to test this one out. I've been using it for a few days now with my new Apple Watch, and it works fantastic. So that's from the Joyroom company. We're going to go take a look on the Amazon page for that. So you guys can see this one a little bit closer. There's the recharging pad, and it's going to work great with your Apple Watches, like I said, but it'll also work with headphones and other USB-C devices. So again, if we go back and take a look at the show page, this one is on a Prime Big Day sale, Big Deal Days. It is normally $25, which is not a bad deal. It's down to $20.79 right now. And it's another 30% off if you clip that coupon. So go ahead and clip that coupon. Get yourself a great deal on this. It's available in 2 colors. I've only indicated the white one here, but if you search Joyroom charger, there's a separate listing if you want the black one, which would look really cool. Now, I don't know if it works with other brands of watches. I know that it works with the iPhone, the Apple devices here. It looks like it's got an iWatch charger keychain, it's saying there. So that's the concept about it. I'm going to take a quick look at the chat, see if anybody is interested in that product. Has anybody, let me know if you've got an Apple Watch already, if you're thinking about getting one, and how convenient this would be to be able to charge on the go. Yeah, I know you can bring the little Apple Watch magnetic cord. They only include one of them, but you got to remember to bring that with you. I've got that near my nightstand. I love the idea that this can fit in my bag. And in a pinch, I was actually able to charge 20% of my iPhone 16 Pro Max battery with it. So it may be the difference here from being completely out or just getting home and having a little bit of extra power. So that's from the Joyroom company. want to thank them for sending that out for a fair and honest review. I'm going to go ahead and pick our next product. We're moving right along here. If you are following me on Amazon, do me a quick favor. On Amazon, I think it's right over here. There's a follow button. If you could do that, I'm trying to get to a gazillion subscribers, a gazillion followers there, because then I get into the higher A-list tiers. I'd love to do that. And it'll also let you know each and every time I go live, which normally YouTube doesn't do. So, hey, we got another friend of the show checking in, Circuit Rewind. Look at that. That looks like a lot of beer. I'm glad that that's all it was. So we got some other cool stuff coming. I have something that's been working right now on the show, and I haven't shown you guys it. It's been here the whole time. It's actually in frame right now, but I'm going to switch to it, and it is our next product. And this thing is pretty cool. I got to go away for a second for it to work. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. This right here is from the Norum company. It is one of those wild 360-degree cameras. Now, to give you the full view, I'm going to turn off that captioning. You're actually hearing me on this microphone. It's got a 6-microphone, 360-degree array. Now, you'll notice it's actually following where it hears the sound. I'm going to go check the chat, make sure you guys can still hear me. I do a lot of muting and doing a bunch of stuff to try to make it so that you don't hear me from the wrong system, and hopefully you guys can hear and see me now. It does have a speaker built into it, so if you're trying to do a conference, I know that we do a lot of stuff on Zoom nowadays, it can actually do bidirectional speaking, and it's got a noise-canceling microphone. Now, what's neat about it is it comes with this remote control, as you see here, and you can actually turn on and off the AI following capability. So I turned that off, and I can actually give you a tour of my studio. Here's a little bit of what's going on. You can see the upcoming products, a couple of the cameras that I use, a little multi-view. I've got a curtain up here covering most of it, but that view up along the top that you're seeing is actually the entire studio. So you get a 360-degree panorama. Now I can zoom in and out with this, so you can see there I was zoomed a little bit, but there's a panorama going around the top. So if you put this in the middle of your conference room table, you can actually see everybody at the table for the first time. So if you've always been working remote and you've got some people that are in a hybrid environment, this is a fantastic product because it's going to go to the speaker. So that's the AI following capability on this one. So if I turn that on, it's going to highlight the speaker. And then if I talk over here, it's going to follow me over here. It can do visual following. It also has a presenter mode, so you can kind of lock it up to a certain person. But this is from Norum. Now, these are not cheap, but for all of this kind of office conferencing equipment, there's upwards of $10,000 units you can buy that do the same thing. There's the Owl system. They're super popular, but this is essentially the same thing as an Owl that you're getting from a different brand. Now, I'm going to bring it back over here so we can actually take a look at the hardware device that's around. Glad to hear Circuit Rewind checks in, says, audio is great. I love to hear that. So I'm going to go back and play it because I have not heard what the audio sounds like on this device. I'm going to switch back to my other audio, which is going to be different. There we go. You know, I bet you I could actually do kind of a picture in a picture here. Not that I want to challenge myself. Let's do this. I've got the equipment. Let's do it. So there you go. You can see me on this side, and then I'm talking over here. Hopefully, you're only hearing one set of audio. So let me know if you're hearing two sets of audio, but you should only hear one. I'm going to go ahead and pull this camera down and show you what kind of connectivity we're talking about. So there's the unit right there. Now it's freaking out because it's like, oh my gosh, you're tracking me everywhere. I'm going to turn the AI following off, and I might just turn this thing off while we're taking a look at the hardware here. I'll do that real quick. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at the hardware around this device. I'm going to bring you guys up close. The key to it is that top camera. It is like half a GoPro 360. So it's basically able to look at the entire room at once, and then it's able to pinpoint a specific individual speaker. You also have mute controls on top. So you can hit it, and it does have a visual mute indicator here. So you'll see that it changes color to red there when it's muted. Nope. That's what I was worried about. There we go. I had to mute the audio output because it was getting it from another. It does have a built-in speaker, as you saw, which does work really, really well. Now, it does have two connections on the bottom we should talk about and a tripod connection. I'm going to go ahead and take the tripod connection off. This is a 1/4-20 standard tripod. And now you're able to use it in a couple different ways that they market. You can use it with a tripod like I did, just put it in the corner, or you just put it in the center of your conference room table. I'm going to bring it back now. There we go. Now we're back on it. The mute. Hopefully we're unmuted. Let's see. There we go. It looks like it's getting an audio signal. There we go. Okay, so there it is. It's on the corner of my desk here. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit so you guys can see me. So you can put it on a desk, and then you can have it still do the following. You can still have it do the remote control version here. And that's one option. Or if you have a tripod, a 1/4-20 mount, you can see there I don't have the follow enabled here. I'll turn the AI following enabled, and bam, it caught me right away. So that's another option that you can do real quick there. So that is from Norroom. Let's go take a look on Amazon and see what they're getting for this. I'll go ahead and switch back to my other audio. Sorry about having to switch so much here, but I wanted to give you guys the full experience. And this is one of those teleconferencing solutions that you can use together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This is the C50 here. Now, this version is fairly new. There's not a lot of reviews on it, but it is on sale right now. So it is $699, which is right in line with most of what these units cost. And it is available for $140 off right now. So it's a pretty significant coupon that you can get with it. It has a USB-C input and interface. Also, it has, and I'm using it, the USB-A, because that's the connector on my laptop that I had over here. So it has that USB-A connector on it, which you can use. So it works with Mac or PC. It's going to work with Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, all of those different solutions. And there's the all-in-one. You don't have to have a separate speaker, a separate microphone, a separate camera system to all deal with, and you can directly connect up to this. So fairly cool product here, available right now on Amazon on Prime Big Deal Days. So let me take a quick look at the chat. Make sure we didn't lose any questions. Yeah, that's awesome. Circuit says, audio is great. And then he says, echo, 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 echo. Yeah, it happens to the best of us when we're dealing with audio equipment, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this down off to the side. I don't want it to get hurt. And I did take the 1/4-20 mount off of it. So I'm going to put it down over here because we're not going to use that right now. But we are going to get to the next product on our show, which is actually from the Jevi company. So let me get this up here. Hi there. I'm just answering any questions on Amazon real quick. And I'm going to go over to the next product on the show from the Jevi company. Now, Jevi reached out to me and they said, hey, we have a brand new version of the espresso maker that you checked. Now, the first time that I tested their espresso maker out, I did that all on my own dime. I went and picked that up. I picked all the accessories. I had a great show. I had a lot of fun. And my wife absolutely loves the machine. But Jevi came out with a new one and they reached out to me and said, hey, can you show this to everybody? So this is the unit right here. It's a stainless steel countertop espresso machine, but it's got a couple cool upgrades that they've done here. Now on this side, you're going to see this is a new frothing system that they have. So before, when you're trying to make espresso, frothing the milk is one of the hardest things to get right. So there's the new frother that they have over here. And it's got a cool little indicator on it. It's going to have just a steam indicator, or it's going to have a foam indicator. So if you want to make the richest crema on here, the richest top layer of foam for your cappuccino, your lattes, you can do that with this and this unit. It's ready to go. You don't have to be an expert. The manual that they give you on this unit is super easy to follow. So if you have never made espresso, never pulled a shot, you can do this. And so this would make a great Christmas gift if you're looking for something for Christmas. It is available right now. I'm going to check the current price on Amazon because these things fluctuate by the minute. It's $134.99, so $135. It is on Prime Big Deal Days sale, so you're going to get that. You get a few things with it. If you're not going to make a lot of coffee, it's going to have a single connector here, so you can go ahead and make single shots. Right now I have a portafilter in here that it came with. Let me show you what that looks like. And this is the double. So if you're going to make 2 shots at a time, you can use this one. It's going to have a standard portafilter. Again, fairly entry level, but this has a lot of weight and heft to it. And once you get good at this, you're going to start jamming these things in. You're going to start sliding them over and locking them in, and the unit's going to keep up. The unit I've shown you guys before is actually really easy to use. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in now. We'll get it started, and we'll talk about what it does. So it has an integrated boiler system here. Get you guys on the right camera so you can see the side of this. So the integrated water tanks in the back, if I want to go fill the water, I can pull this off. Additionally, I can open this up and I can just fill the water this way. Once you turn it on, which I should have done first, but once you turn it on, the lights on top are going to come on. You can see that light blinking. That's heating up the water boiler system that it has in it. So it's getting that water, it's pumping it through, and it's getting it ready to start making hot water for coffee. Now, this whole top area is actually designed to hold your glasses. So I happen to have a couple of espresso shot glasses. Now, I could normally leave them on top like this, and that would actually keep them warm so they're ready to go when you go to pull shots. Now, as this thing's filling up the tank and it's getting the boiler going, it takes a couple minutes at most. These lights are going to turn on top, and that's when you know it's ready. Now, you can get some accessories with this. This one is actually coming from our next product coming up, but this is going to be a standard carafe. If you have a cup that maybe you want to do your coffee in, might I suggest the Craft Computing Circuit Design mug? If you have one of these tumblers and maybe you just want to make it warmer, watch this. You can come over here and hit this top button. I'm going to show you what that looks like from the top. So I hit this steam button. You can take this and just turn it directly to the steam setting, or you can actually pull this off entirely if you want. So there's 2 options here. Steam setting, if you do that, I'm going to wipe this off because I was just using it before the show. You can use it without this if you just want to go straight to steam, and you can go ahead and turn this knob, and you're starting to pour hot water out of the unit into the cup. So the pump is going here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what that looks like on the overhead. So it's just a little tiny bit of hot water, and I'm going to mix this around. There we go. So that's one way to do it. You can preheat your glasses that way. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. Let's go ahead and pull a shot with this. I'm going to go ahead and look at the Amazon chat and see if there's anybody asking questions here. So I'm going to go through the standard process of making an espresso drink with this. I'm going to go on this side if that's easier for you guys to follow. Neat thing about this unit, it has a pressure indicator. So it's going to tell you how much pressure is in the tank. That was one thing that it took me a little while to understand with this big pressure indicator. It actually is going to tell you if you're getting your grind just right. So if your grind's just right, your brew pressure is going to be right in the blue arc. If you've got your espresso too finely ground and you're maybe putting too much in, it'll get into the red area, and that's not good. So you don't want to be in the red area. So that's kind of a quick way. So I'm going to go ahead and take the portafilter out. We're going to go ahead and fill it up with some coffee. Now, I use the Jevi grinder I have upstairs. Our next product back here has a grinder built in. And I'm going to go ahead and take a couple options here. It comes with a tamper, or it comes with a standard measuring device. I'm going to go ahead and use this tamper because it is for the 2 measure here. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that up. You can see it right there. I'm going to tamp this down. Hopefully everything goes good. I'm going to add a tiny little bit more. I was just a little bit conservative on there. I like to have mine ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and push down, give it a good push. And then I'm going to lock it in to the portafilter here. Now, you have 2 options when it's ready to pour here. You're going to have a single button up here. Let's go show you what that looks like. And then you're going to have the double button. If I hit the double button, it's going to put enough water out for 2 shots at the same time. If I hit the single, it's only going to do enough for 1. Now, what's neat about that is you can actually control with this unit. It's fully customizable. You can change the amount of water that comes out depending on how you like your shots. If you like them extra strong, you can reduce the water. If you want a little bit more water, you can do that. It's all in the manual on how you do that. So I just will let you know that that is available. It's a rare feature on a lot of these machines. I'm going to go ahead and hit the 2-shot button here. Oh, I have a little extra pressure in it. I realized what that was. Let me show you that earlier today. So if it's blinking like that, that's because I used the pressure and I didn't let it out afterward. Go ahead and do that. There we go. There we go. There we go. So that should be ready when I hit this button to pull shots. There we go. So we are pulling a shot here. I'm going to bring it onto the side because this is such a great view. You can see that espresso coming out here. There it goes into my little shot glasses. I'm going to pull these over so you can see them. But this stuff does great espresso. Now I am right inside the arc. That's one of the advantages of this machine over your other countertop machines that don't have a gauge, is you're going to know that I've actually ground this coffee just right. So it's in that center of that arc, which is what we love. So there is my super rich and frothy shots. I'm going to let this go down for a little bit. Now, another thing that this does, you can see, look at that coffee. Oh my gosh, that cream on top. That's gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. Now, another thing that this does that a lot of other units don't is it does a pre-infusion. So it's going to add a little bit of water. It's going to wait about 3 seconds, and then it's going to infuse the rest of the water and push it through the rest of the shot. It's going to get the espresso out of there and all the oils and everything. I'm going to go ahead and take some cold milk here. This is half and half. And I'm basically going to make a latte in my cup over here. And I'm going to use that new feature that they have. And actually, I'm going to get this over so you guys can see a little bit better. Maybe even, there it is. Yeah. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I take my cold milk. If I want to use the automatic setting here, right here. So that's automatic. That's just steam. Automatic and steam. So I set that. Bring it over here. I set this to my steam mode, which is going to increase the pressure so that I can make steam. I'm going to set this over to automatic. And this is a big difference between the prior unit and this one, is this has the ability to do that. Now, I'm going to turn the knob. And what it's doing is it's allowing a certain amount of air in. Now, you probably may or may not be able to hear me as good because my new microphone picks up everything. Maybe my noise canceling gets this or not. It's already starting to warm up. I got a product that'll be able to show that here in the future. So it's going to take about a minute. It's already past lukewarm here. You want it about 2 centimeters into the milk when you're really trying to make a vortex. You know this is probably loud, and I apologize for that. Now, how do you know when this is done? You want to wait for 3 seconds. So if I can touch this and I can only hold it for 3 seconds, that's when I know it's done. There we go. Almost there. Now, if I was smart, I'm going to take this. We're going to bring this up. I'm going to clean this off because this does not clean off real easy after it cools. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and take my Craft Computing tumbler, and I'm going to go ahead and add that warm milk into those shots that we just pulled. That's about all I want to add in there. And now I have a latte. There you go. You guys have watched Idiocracy. I like lattes. Oh man, that's good. I have had so much coffee this morning when I was working on these machines, getting them all set up. I probably pulled 16 shots, I swear, this morning. That's a couple more. Oh, that's fantastic. Now, if you want to get an intro, if you want to get a beginner's machine or something that you can grow with, this is a great machine. It'll start out with you. It's just over $100. They do sell a separate grinder, which I bought also, and that's what I use to grind the beans. This one works really well. When and if you're ready to step up to something larger, there's the next product we're going to talk about, which is the Jevi, the dual unit. Now, we do got a question in here from Dave Frank on the Facebook side. Go ahead with your question whenever you want. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these things out of the way, just so they're not going to get us in trouble here. I'm going to get this out of the way. Now, the next thing that you would do when you're done is you'd wait for the pressure to come down, and then you'd remove the portafilter. You would knock that out. Now, a couple quick tips. If you're seeing a lot of standing water on top of your grounds in the portafilter, you're probably not putting enough in. Or if your unit's not showing a lot of pressure and you don't get that rich crema on top of the shot that you pull, probably are grinding coarse enough, or you're fine enough. You're grinding too coarsely, or you're not putting enough grounds in. If you start getting towards the red, or it's really slow when it's pulling the shot, or your coffee tastes bitter, you're grinding too fine, or you're putting too much in, and then the pressure is not getting through the grounds. It's getting clogged. We'll talk about that a little more with the next machine because it's got some ways to combat that. Taking a quick look here in the chat. I don't see anybody in there yet. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this unit, and we're going to put it out of the way. But just to show you again, comes with a full instruction manual. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about making all those wonderful different kinds of coffee that we have. We're coming into the winter. You can definitely use this to heat milk for hot cocos. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. And it is such a conversation piece. I sent some pictures last night to some friends when this is out on the counter with the old and the new machine. This has definitely got a nice look to it, and it definitely looks great with the stainless steel on your counter. It looks more than you paid for it. It looks like a lot more than you paid for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and we're going to get the next version up. And if you have any questions about the specific units, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Okay. And then we are going to pull up the Jevi dual machine next. Let me get this camera reset so we can do this. You are helping me make internet famous content here. This is all going to be on future Amazon videos. If you do see me on Amazon, give me a little thumbs up on the Amazon video you see. That helps me out. It helps show my video to others if you found the video useful. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this new machine over, and we'll talk about what makes this one unique and different. So this is a super fun machine. Go ahead and plug this in. Now, the other one, we talked a little bit about the water tank that it has. It's going to have a smaller water tank on the back. Again, it's only going to be pulling shots, not as quickly. This unit is designed as a prosumer unit. This thing looks like what you would see at a Starbucks or a large coffee place, but it's shrunk down for countertop size. Now, the sides are plastic, whereas the other one that we looked at was stainless steel, but this still looks fantastic. Everything is designed to be used. They've done all of the research on here. It's heating up as soon as I hit this power button. It's going to start heating up, and this is a double boiler system. So it has two different boilers in here, and they're designed to help you make steam while you're pulling shots. Whereas the other one, I got to do one function at a time. I can't do both. This one, you can do both functions at the exact same time, which is really slick. So definitely a time saver here. The quality of the components on this one is already upgraded. This, I swear, weighs a pound on its own. It is a wonderful flat tamper here. You know what I realized? I haven't plugged the show laptop in. I just got a battery warning. Let me go ahead and do that. There we go. So this is a wonderful tamper, and as you use it with the portafilter and you push down, if you get it right to that top edge, that's when you know you've got the shot pulled at the exact perfect level of grounds. Another interesting thing about the portafilter in this one, it is much larger. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but that is much larger in circumference than the last one. So this one is designed, it's 58 millimeters. It's a commercial size. So when I use that tamper, I'm pushing down with 30 to 40 pounds of pressure. Now, whereas the other one I needed to have my separate coffee ground all ready to go. This one includes a built-in grinder, so you're ready to pull shots as soon as you drop this in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that portafilter in. I can go ahead and set if I want 1 cup or 2. In this case, I'm going to say that I want 2, and then I'm going to tap the power button 1 time to grind. Now, to set the actual the grind level, you can go left and right. And I haven't taken this off yet, but in there is a burr grinder. So it's a professional grinder, and you can set it to whatever. They say start at 15, then work it to whatever you want. But it takes all of the things that they've shrunk down into the countertop version that we just saw, and it makes them better in this unit because you're going to have a larger gauge, same thing. So if you learned on the little unit and you want to upgrade to this one, you're in good shape. It's going to have that very easy to read. I'm going to go ahead and grind us for 2 shots. So there we go. Now it's saying that it just completed that grind. Now I'm going to pull this back a little bit so you can see it. Now, using this in this method does leave a little bit of extra grounds out there. It's not perfect because it's not right up against the unit. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this back out. Okay, so this one put a lot more coffee in than earlier. I'm going to go ahead and compress this down. And this is where that tamper comes in. So there we go. I've compressed that down to 30 to 40 pounds. Now I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. And I can go ahead and take this. I want to make sure it's tamped down just right. Because it's got those 2 boilers in it, I know I can go directly in here. And I can put it in the portafilter. I want to make sure I get that lined up. And there we go. So now I'm ready to pull shots, though I have to clean first. 1 second. The shot glasses that we used not long ago. I got some water over here. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and clean these. Let me know if you have questions in the chat. Dave Frank's question was, are they quiet or noisy? That's relative. So they're relatively quiet. This one is actually much quieter, I would say. So it is definitely a larger unit. It doesn't have to work as hard to pull shots. I'm going to go ahead and clean these like a good barista. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them under here. Now, this has a bunch of different cool options. If you've never pulled shots before, it's not going to mean a lot to you. But one of the things that it can do, and it does really well, is it has different styles. It has double walled and standard output. So what is a double wall? Well, the double wall has a very, very tiny hole in the portafilter. This one has a lot larger screen. So in the case of this one, the coffee is actually creating the back pressure for the system. And that coffee, depending on how tight it's ground and how much is in there, is going to be what controls the pressure. This one, you have to have less skill on, but it'll actually make that crema a lot easier because it's going to control the pressure based on that very small calibrated hole they have. So that's the difference between a standard and a double wall. I'm going to go ahead and start this unit. I do want to show you all of the different things at once here. So let's get this camera in the perfect position. So I'm going to be able to pull those 2 shots. We're going to watch and check for the espresso. Now I can set it to single, double, or a manual size. It's also fully customizable. You can go through this and you can set all of the settings for temperatures. So this is a professional machine just shrunk down to countertop size. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to extract. Now it's compressing. It's doing that pre-infusion, and then it's going to start drawing that coffee out. And there's the pressure coming in. You can see that rich coffee crema color coming through. It's right in the perfect part of the arc there. So again, this thing grinds very, very well. The portafilter, commercial grade, as we said, and you can see that beautiful top layer. So both of these units with very little setup, almost none you saw, can pull amazing shots. I'm going to let it sit for just a second. It's completely normal for it to drip for a few seconds afterward. That's just letting the pressure off. And then I'm going to pull these out and show you what they look like. Look at that rich layering here. This is some fantastic espresso that we're making today. Now, unfortunately, those shots are going to be dead. I'm just going to let those go off to the side because I cannot drink much more coffee at this time. I have had so much. Now, I am going to show you how the milk frother on this works. It's very similar to the other one that we looked. This one is not an automatic frother. So what does that mean? Well, it's got a couple cool things. One, it has a steam only setting or a hot water setting. So you turn this knob here on the right, whereas the other one just had a single knob. I'll show you this. So where the other one only had a single knob on or off, this has two directions. So if I go to the right, I'm actually, let me see, I did not bring, well, I did bring an extra cup. Okay. So what I can do on this one, if I turn it to the right, I'm going to just extract water. So this has got those double boilers, separate boiling system. Now that's putting a lot of water out quickly. So if you're an Americano fan, there's your hot water immediately to kind of pre-temper your glasses, get them nice and warm. So that's one option. If I want to do the frothing, I turn the knob the other way. So by turning the knob that way, it's going to be loud. There we go. I'm starting the froth mode. Now I'm not going to let that get all the way hot because you guys saw that on the last machine. But that's how you create your froth, and that's how you get your perfect froth for your lattes there. So that's the difference on these two units. This unit, again, built-in grinder. It's got a huge area up top for more glasses. The tamper is much better. It is solid metal billet. Looks like aluminum. Great piece there, but it is so heavy it can't be. It's got to be some sort of stainless. Overall, the fit and finish on this one just fits a lot more commercial, it feels. But both of them are great choices if you're looking for a espresso maker. I'm going to go here and check the chat. Randy's checking in, says, nice. Absolutely. Maybe we need one of these at our church. Maybe I got to donate one of these to the church so we can have good coffees. I know our coffee machine and our coffee is not the highest rated at our church, but this one definitely will step that up by a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple things out of the way here. I'm going to go take you over to the Amazon page again. We're going to take a look at these on Amazon. One second. I'm going to increase my brightness so I can see here. So this is the dual machine that we're looking at right now. It is a Prime Big Deal Day sale. So it's $474 normally. It is reduced down, as you can see. The lowest price is what my Bing browser is telling me here, my Edge browser, is right now. Minus 27% off. It is $349. You get all of those items down below. So you don't have to get a little carafe for your milk. That's going to come with it. And it's a fairly high quality one. You're going to get all of the stuff here, the accessories, and you're going to get a cleaning kit as well. I have an unboxing video, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. So you don't have to see it. This is the silver one. There's another option here. It looks like, is this just the silver? Yeah, they look about the same. I was just trying to see if there's anything special on the one versus the other. But both just fantastic units. Again, double boilers with independent temperature controls. You have a grinding system here, so you can set the optimal grind, and it works fantastic. You just turn the whole top, and that sets the grind level that you want. You're going to be pulling shots. Maybe you're not doing the art. I'm not into the art just yet. I'm not that good. But you're going to be able to start pulling shots like a professional with one of these machines. Let's talk about the other machine real quick. I'm going to bring it up here so you can see them side by side and give myself a great thumbnail. There's a reason for all this, you know. I'm going to bring these two units side by side so you can see them. So again, stainless steel, excellent quality look. I'm going to give myself a thumbnail pause. There we go. Perfect. That's all we needed. My editor can get that. Stainless steel. You can see how much brighter this one looks with that chrome stainless accent. Now, this again is a small single unit, or you've got the silver look of the double. Both of them look great. All of the pieces here are stainless, the metal pieces that you can see. This one is definitely, if you think this is something you're going to use every single day, you're going to want to do more advanced things like froth milk while you're pulling shots. This is the one to have. If you're looking at something that you want to just explore this, you're maybe buying it as a gift, $134. This single unit works incredibly well. Both of them very happy with. And this is from the Jevi company. They did send both of these out for a fair and honest review, but I did not charge them and they did not pay any sort of fee to have me say this is my personal opinion of these. These are great units. I'm going to take a quick look here at the chat, see if we got anybody else. We are almost ready to move on to our next product. So let me get my coffee items out of the way here. Now that I have my coffee, I can take a little break here. Oh man, that's good. It's so good. That does pull great shots. I'm going to put this one in the background because it's all ready. Now, if you do need to fill it up, you can see the water tank back here, and you can fill this directly up with filtered water, or you've got the smaller water tank of this one back here as well on the back. They are removable if you need to carry them to wherever your water source is, but they can also be poured in directly. Okay, that's one unit. Here comes the second unit. Cleaning this up, and we'll get a check on the Amazon chats and see if anybody is waiting in Amazon today. I'm just going to send a quick message to our Amazonians. Looks like we got 7 people watching on Amazon. Welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm John the Net Guy. Alongside on Amazon is a carousel of a bunch of really cool items that I'm going to be showing today. Some I've already shown. Also is a follow button down around that area. If you are on Amazon and you can hit that, that would do an awesome thing for me. It's going to show you each and every time that I go live, which is something that I'm trying to do more of this year. The next product that we have today is very heavy. This is from the Afri company. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I always wonder on these if I'm pronouncing them right. So Afri is how I pronounce that. And it is an emergency backup power bank. Now, I've shown you power banks on here from as small as the one we looked at earlier that can do a watch that's very tiny. This one is This one is 2,048 watt hours of capacity. That's almost the size of 2 lithium 100 amp hour batteries, just a little bit below that. So it's got that capability with it. It's also a 2,400 watt inverter. So a lot of times you'll get these and the power banks are only 600 watts, 800 watts, 900 watts. This has 2,400 watts of capacity. That means laptop, refrigerators, a whole bunch of devices can be running at the exact same time out of this unit. Speaking of that, if I go over here on this side, I'm going to show you all the different sides and features of it. If I go on this side and I open this up, there are 6 different plugs here. There are actually even 20 amp angled plugs. Let me see if I can bring you guys close because I want you to see all of the buttons on this one. We're going to take a quick look together. So there are your 6 AC outlets here. You got all 6 of them right there if you needed to do alternating current. And a lot of times people will do that when it comes to laptops and other things that they want to run. One second, I'm just trying to get the right angle here. So they'll do that. They'll run their laptop adapter through the AC side, but this thing has a secret weapon here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. 1, 2. Okay, I have charged this thing up to 100%. We can take a quick look at the front panel. This has individual buttons for on and off to turn the light that we have on, which is always a plus to see on these. It's got an emergency mode, SOS modes. So it's got a light built into it. It has a separate DC power up here for the power spots. It has 2 DC outputs. So you've got the MC4 output. You could charge another power bank with something like this. You've got another DC output here for 12 volts. You've got 2 more barrel jack outputs. You've got quick charge 3.0, quick charge 3.0, power delivery 20 watt, 20 watt, 20 watt, and power delivery 100 watt on a separate button. So what I can do is I can turn just what I want on to reduce the amount of usage of the system. Now, how much can this actually support? An enormous amount. So we said that it has 2,400 watts of capacity. I'm actually going to pull a product out here. We're going to have some fun with this thing. This will actually be up on the show in a second. This is a induction cooker. This is from the New Wave company, but this is an induction cooker, so you can actually cook with something this large. So if you've got a power bank that's above, 1500, 1600 watts, this unit can actually support it. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I'm going to turn the AC power on. So this unit just turned on here and it's ready to go. So you see that the front panel display shows 100%. It's going to give you a status of all of the different things that are going on here on the unit. It's going to give you how long it can remain. So it's saying at this rate, which is just keeping the inverter on idle, it can run for 51 hours continuous. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a pot here. Uh-oh. I'm going to go ahead and take the label off of our inverter cooker here. And then I'm going to take this pot and I'm going to put it on here, and we're going to start to heat water with this unit. Now you can use a water boiler. You could use anything you want. We have a kettle that we also really like to use for tea. We've got a little bit of coffee water in here from our previous coffee. Now I can go ahead and turn this unit on. I'm going to get a little bit higher. So I can turn it on. It has different wattage settings. So I can say I want it at 600 watts, high, start. Now it's going to start pulling down this unit here. So this unit at 600 watts almost exactly can draw for 4 hours. Now it's just come down to the 3 hours range, which is almost exactly mathematically 2400 watts, right? So 600 watts divided by the 2400 total. Now you can crank the watts up on this. So this is already heating up, but I can go ahead and go up to 9, and I can increase that cooking temperature to 900 watts. So it's pulling that down right now, almost just under 900 watts, and that will heat up faster. 1300 watts. Now it's not going to hold that for more than about an hour. So it's coming down to the minutes now. So an hour and a half at 1300 watts. But if you've got maybe a camping trip you're going on, this unit is so large that it can actually run appliances. That's something you almost never see nowadays, is a power bank or a solar generator or something that can run this much equipment. I'm going to turn this off because I don't want it to get too hot, because I have to put it out of the way. But that's just showing an example of what this inverter is capable of. You can run it at a large volume for a short period. But one of the things that this thing does incredibly well is run a medium-sized load for a very long time. There's been a hurricane last week. God bless the people that were impacted by that. There's a hurricane coming tonight and tomorrow down in Florida. So, something like this, if you had it available, is the difference between maybe a life-threatening situation to something that's an inconvenience, right? So when you have the ability to boil water, when you have the ability to keep medicines cold that need to be kept cold, this can run a refrigerator. Most refrigerators use about 1,000 watt hours a day. This could run a refrigerator for 2.25 days by itself. Now that assumes that you don't add power. So think about an emergency, maybe a grid down situation, and you need to keep a refrigerator going. It's going to use 1,000 watts, but it's going to do that over a 24-hour period. So it doesn't use much constant, but it needs a large backup bank. So maybe if you had a generator, you'd have to run that generator 24 hours a day to keep that fridge cold. If you had something like this, this one charges up in 2 hours flat, or even less than that, because you don't generally normally draw them to zero. So you could run your generator 2 hours a day and have plenty of excess power. So this is a fantastic unit for a situation like that where you need an emergency power bank. If you're camping and you just want to use it and you want to maybe do a outside movie night with the kids, you want to run a projector or sensitive electronics, pure sine wave inverter in this thing. That's another thing that this one has. Now, there is no app for this. I'm going to show you one next week that's got an app control that's very neat, but it's a different price range. These things are not cheap, but trying to make everything that they are is a lot more expensive. And I'll tell you why. I've done a lithium show before. You saw I had a big grid and a board here and all the components. If you take a battery that's $150 to $200 minimum, you're going to need 2 of those batteries to equal the amount of capacity this has, maybe 1.5 batteries, which you can't buy half of. You're going to need a pure sine wave inverter with 2,400 watts capacity. So you add whatever that costs in here. You're going to need a DC charging system. So now I'm running this completely isolated, but you'll notice it has a cord here. So I could actually plug this cord in, and then I could charge this thing back up. I'm not going to do that now, but it does have several different charging levels. So maybe you only have a 300-watt solar panel. Well, you could plug that in. You can charge this thing up in 8 hours, right? If you double or triple that solar, you could charge this thing back up. And so maybe you do have a power out situation and you do have plenty of solar. You could use this as that buffer to get you through the night and then use it as a power converter during the day. So it has a couple different modes. Maybe you have a car with some jumper cables that you can start up and run every once in a while. It's going to have DC inputs over on this side. Let me show you guys that real quick. Let's take a look at this side of the unit. This is where the power comes in. Let's see if I can get it below enough. So it's got an MC4 connector for your solar. It's going to have your standard plug here, your standard PC computer plug for the AC input as well. So it's going to have very standard connections. It does have a cover that comes with it that goes over the whole unit. And it does have this little carrying spot in the top, which I thought was so cool. So you can put your adapters, your cables, and other things, but you can't put your cover in there. It's just not quite big enough to put the cover in that top area. So this is from the AFRY company. I think every household, as we go into winter, as we go into these uncertain times, should have some sort of backup power system. I can tell you our plan in our house, because we have mini split systems that just take too much power to run to heat and cool the whole house. We plug this into our fireplace. I've shown you a couple times. Our fireplace only burns like 50 or 60 watts. And then we use that blower and it can heat up half of our entire house. This thing would run for about 2 to 3 days at that power level, the 2400 watt capacity. Again, not adding any power, we could keep our house heated for 2 days using the blower in our fireplace off of this. So very cool system. I just wanted to show you that. This is from the AFRY company. They did send this out for a fair and honest review. I am going to be doing more testing with this, and we're going to be using this all winter around here, testing it around the house when the power goes out as a generator alternative or an accessory to your generator. So you don't have to run your generator all the time. You can use the loads off of this. Another interesting thing that I was talking about was it does create AC power, but one of the beauties of it is that it has the flexibility of going direct DC. So DC current, if I take my MacBook Pro and I plug it into these power delivery spots, there's less conversion loss. So you're not going from battery bank DC in here through an inverter to AC to an adapter to DC back in the laptop. It can go direct DC to DC and you don't lose as much. Your laptop stays charged longer and this lasts longer as well. So that's another real advantage of having these. Now, can I keep my phones and other devices charged? Well, yeah, let's take a look at the front here. Whenever the power goes out here, it's always fun because the kids are like, it's an emergency, we need our phones. So you can see along the bottom here, we talked about a 2 Quick Charge 3.0 power delivery 20 watts. It's got 3 of those for your power delivery capable devices and a PD100. Now this only has 1 PD100, but devices that use 100 watts power delivery are very rare. One of them I happen to have over here coming up on a future show. This is also a must-have device. This is the Starlink Mini. Now this thing can run on AC, which is fine, but it actually can run on the power delivery 100 here. So you could use a Starlink Mini at about 30 watts per hour and run about 3 days of internet access and Wi-Fi really anywhere in the country. That's one of the amazing things about Starlink. So this is such a large power bank that it can do that. One other last thing about these power banks, they are not light. So this has some sort of lithium batteries in it. They've gotten so much safer. So the lithium ion battery technology, the stuff that's in your cell phone, the energy density of these is just fantastic and amazing. But the safety has gotten better and better and better on these. And so this has got a lot of protections in here. You can set the charge rates. You can set all of the different settings in here. So that's an advantage of the newer units versus trying to set up your own. We did talk about that. So the charging capability of this, to be able to charge it's hard to say this number, 2,048 watt hours of capacity, you're going to need a 10, 20, 30 amp lithium charger. Or even higher. This one's going to have a 50 to 60 amp charger in it. To get some of those chargers are several $100s to have that, but it's got the built-in charger Then it also has the interface for charging off of solar. So if you tried to build something like this, you're going to have a wall of componentry, and it's all from different manufacturers. You're going to have a ton of wires and fuses and other stuff. And this is just so much simpler. I could buy this for my parents where they're at, and if they ever had a power outage or an issue, they could go in and it's just a push of a button to turn it on, which is great. So that's another advantage. We're going to take a quick look. Green saying, nothing like a good battery backup. I'm gonna say it, nothing. One of the things that this also has the capability of, and I haven't tested it yet, so I don't really want to commit to it yet, it has power pass-through. So if you think of battery-powered UPSs and lithium UPSs especially, that would have 2,400 watts of capacity with 2,048 watts of longevity. So, there's both sides of that are hard to do. Incredibly expensive. This one will do 1,100 watts of power pass-through is what I read. So you could plug it into an AC outlet, your critical load, maybe this is your insulin refrigerator or some other item. Maybe you're going out of town and you've got your meat freezer. You could plug this in line to a critical load, and if the power goes out, this automatically takes over. And when the power is restored, it takes over and starts charging itself back up. So pretty much the best of both worlds. That's a really unique thing that I was reading about on this one. Haven't tested that out. So it definitely has, as Green was just asking, UPS mode. Absolutely. Thumbs up on that one. Very cool. I'm going to go to the Amazon show page because we are almost out of products, believe it or not. We've gotten to the last couple of products. We're going to bring up this page. So again, it's another brand new manufacturer. They reached out to me, said, hey, we saw you do a couple of these other videos. Could you show people our new power bank? And man, the numbers on this are fantastic. Pure sine wave output. Now that explains something. I was wondering what the chemistry on this is. This is lithium iron phosphate. So that's the LiFePO4. It's 60 pounds. I believe 65 pounds roughly was the shipping weight on this. It is not light. That's one drawback to this, is it's pretty heavy, but all of your componentry is in one unit. Now there are no wheels on it, but you could get a little tiny dolly if you wanted. I'm able to lift it up and move it around, no problem. But yeah, definitely a fantastic unit here. They actually have combinations if you wanted to get something cool like this and a solar panel to recharge it. Again, off-grid system. Look at that, man. You can get a 2,400 watt power bank. Looks like dual 200 watt solar panels as well. They're saying 48.5 pounds for that combination. Or you can get a 400 watt panel that you can put out. So that'll charge in about 6 hours. That's a really good combination here. If you have 2,400 watts of total capacity, the rule of thumb, take your best solar output is going to be the total panel times about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. So if you have a 400 watt panel in full sun for 5 hours a day is what we're going to calculate, you can put 2,000 watts back into this. So that means that you could run continuously with this and one of those solar panel combinations. So good to see that. If you want to know where to find this, if you go to the link that's scrolling across there, this is my Amazon show page here. You'll see it. It's the first idea list and it has all of the products here. Now we do have 2 products remaining. Now I'm going to show you these 2 products. I'm going to put this one away and try not to damage it. Here we go. And what I love is a lot of times I will find a product that I want to test out because either I need this product, I'm going to use it often, or it's just the best of breed product. That's one of the things I found out, is finding products that are the best in their marketplace. Here we go. Just trying to get that camera angle right. There we go. I'm going to use this quite a bit in the next segment. But trying to get products that are the best in their segment has always been better for me. And that's no exception for these guys. These are one of the top manufacturers of thermal imaging cameras. So I've got an exciting thing to show you here. I'm just looking to see real quick if I have the original one. Now, several months back, you'll note that I showed you guys the Seek Compact. Now, this one is pretty compact. I'm going to bring you guys down on the top view. So this was the Seek Thermal Compact unit. It's got a little carrying case. It plugs into your iPhone. And the resolution on this one, I'm trying to see, was a 200 by 156 thermal imaging sensor. And they don't have a ton of refresh rate. The hertz is a little bit slower on them. But this one is really easy to use. You plug it into your iPhone, and it works really well. Now, they reached out to me because they said, hey, we've got 2 brand new units. They're calling them the Nano series. This is from Seek Thermal. I'm going to show them both to you at the same time. So this is the Seek Nano 200 and the Seek Nano 300. Now, what's the difference on these? They both use the interface of your cell phone, which is pretty cool. Depending on your price availability and your needs for features, that you can decide if you want the different ones. Now, the 300 is in red and the 200 is in black. So you see this has got that little red center dial. This is the instructions right here. Comes well packaged. Now, the only drawback I could see here is that the other one came with a carrying case, whereas this new model doesn't. But if you have something to put your phone in, or you have some place, this is so small, and it looks a little bit more rugged than the other one. There's no wheel or anything to adjust on here for your focus. But both of these are thermal imaging cameras. You talk about something that you could use in another emergency. I could use this for boating. I can imagine, at night when it's pitch black out, you don't have a lot of options. You've got a couple. You've got infrared, cameras that work on boats, or you've got nothing. Now, when I plug this in, it wants to open up my Seek Thermal app. Let me do that one more time. I'm going to go ahead and allow it. Now, instantly, you can see that it's actually looking at me. So there's a thermal image now of yours truly. Got the cold beard going. And that's looking directly out of here. Now, I can do it in a couple different ways. I can look at the overhead camera directly there. So now it's not going to be easy to see in this demonstration, but I have a better demonstration lined up for you guys. So I can flip this over, and I can look around my office. Now, the cold spot, my air conditioner up there is cold. My computers down there are all warm, and you can see this is the Seek Thermal Nano 300 right now. It's giving me the hottest and coldest points in my studio right now, including looking at the same camera. There's my GoPro that I use for the studio. There's my laptop. So you can use this in your home to find drafts. We're coming into the winter. If you're wondering why your house is always cold, you grab this. You don't necessarily need the resolution. People are like, oh, it's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 megapixels, whatever. You don't need that same camera resolution when you're looking thermally, because you're looking just for hot and cold. You're not looking for fine detail. This has another cool feature, and I'm going to bring it up here real quick. Give me 1 second to pull up my Google Photos, because I took some pictures earlier that I wanted to show you. 1 second here. I did see a chat message. Chuck's in here. He says, John, cool products as always. Thank you so much, Chuck. Good to see you, man. Glad to see that you're here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a couple pictures, and I'm going to see if I can do them in order to where they make sense. So I'm going to pull this picture up here. Now, I can't see the chat messages, unfortunately, but can anybody guess what we're looking at right here? This is a thermal image that's taken in my garage against an outside wall of my house. And you can see the level of detail here. So there's something really hot, and the heat is actually going up my wall there. There's some hot wires over in this area. Now, it has a bunch of cool options in the app. This is just a static image that the app took, but it can take video. And I didn't get to do that, but if we take a look at this, this is actually what you're looking at. It has the ability to superimpose a traditional image. That hot thing was my gigabit router. That's my fiber optic ONT, essentially. And so that was in that view. So you can see how hot my router is all the time. And my circuit panel is actually pretty cool comparatively. And those are the wires. They're all pretty cool. But if you did have a circuit that was running hot, all of the trades need to have these, whether you're going to be a plumber, especially a plumber could use this. If you're an electrician, if you're an HVAC, all of those trades could use these Seek Thermals. We have to have those. Now, let's go take a couple other looks. This is when I open my circuit panel. If you're looking to see what kind of circuits in your house maybe are getting loaded or have a lot of load on them, you can see the color right there of that circuit breaker is 17.8 C. So not incredibly hot, and you can change this to Fahrenheit scale in the app if you want. But if I were able to zoom in really, really far, I could tell you what that unlabeled 60 amp breaker is. That's our EV charger. So that's the charger for our electric vehicle. It's actually drawing 6,000 watts So it's drawing about 4 hair dryers worth of power, which naturally heats up that circuit breaker compared to the rest. So the Seek Thermal actually was able to help find that. You can also see here, I opened up a couple other things. I'm just looking around. This is an outside wall to my house. And so the sun was beating on that wall over there. We haven't patched above the circuit breakers yet. So you can see that that area was a little bit warmer. There was a box on there, which is actually cold. See, that's the darkest area. And the app's going to give you all sorts of cool controls for high and low and other things. There was looking at a specific area. So we talked about resolution not being a super important thing when it comes to these. I'm using the one that is the 320 by 240. That is the Nano 300 here. The resolution on the other one is 200 by 150. So it's going to be a little bit less resolution on the thermal, but it doesn't really matter because you're using your phone's camera to give you that fine detail so you can see what's going on. And then it's giving that superimposed view here to give you, hey, that was actually a cutout against an outside wall. So that warm thing that we thought was warm was actually just a hole to the outside wall where my fiber comes in. So that's the difference there. You can, again, use this for detecting anything. This is another great one. It looks like I've got something that's on fire, but it's actually not. This one is actually my hot water tank. That thing that looks glowing coming out of it is actually insulation around my water tank here and the expansion tank there. So the expansion tank's cold, the condensate line's cold, but you can see where the hot water is coming out. So again, these are from Seek Thermal. They've gone from something that was very expensive and very rare to something that really is a prosumer product. So if you're building computers like I do, I love to use this to look at things. I've got some friends that are doing YouTube and they're trying to do component diagnosis. You can look at a circuit board with a thermal camera like this and you can see if there's a hot spot on your circuit board. So lots of really cool features in the Seek Thermal world. And Kent's checking in on the Facebook. I saw you there, Kent. Thanks for the comment. He says electrical panel. Yep, he got that one right. And this can be good in old houses if you're looking, again, for drafts, hot, cold places. Maybe you've got a circuit that's overloaded and you want to look at your electrical panel. In my case, there's only one of them that was really drawing a ton. But if you have another one that's maybe close to going bad, it'll show as well. So that was from Seek Thermal. Let's go take a look at their page on Amazon because they got a sale going on right now for Prime Big Deal Days. This one is $249 for the newest version. This is the 320 by 240 here. Now that's got the Lightning connector on it, again, from Seek Thermal. So that's got the Apple iPhone Lightning. And when I was talking to Seek, they asked which one I wanted, if I wanted the USB-C. I went with the Lightning, which is what the show iPhone had, and my personal iPhone, I just upgraded to the 16. So technically, they have another option here if you're an Android user or if you're an iPhone 15, 16 user, get the USB-C one. It's going to be a little bit more flexible. This is going to work on your iOS, your iPads that have the USB-C, or if you get the Lightning one, it's going to work on those as well. So if you're a contractor, don't leave home without one of these. Now, I do have 2 of these, so I may run a giveaway for some of the extra ones here in the future. And we also have here the other one, and I haven't shown you the actual usage of this one yet, but this is the Nano 200. It's available for $149. Now, both of these have a $50 coupon. You check the box, and you got to log in, which I'm not logged in right now. And technically, that drops it to $99. So you can have something that could help you out with your house, your heating, your cooling. I've used this actually upstairs to walk around and realize that we hadn't sealed off one of the areas near our living room in the ceiling from the outside. We'd done some work out there and that we didn't put the cover back on properly. So it was letting heat out of our living room that way. So these can definitely help you find some of those energy wasters here in the winter. I want to thank Seek Thermal for sending their products out for a fair and honest review. This is the Nano 300 right here, along with the Nano 200. I'm going to check the chat one last time, and then we are going to wrap this up because, believe it or not, it went that quickly. That was all of our products here. This has been John the Net Guy. If you could, give me a like, give me a follow, and feel free to share this show with your friends. I advertise by word of mouth only out there, or people that see and enjoy and share this with the other people that they know. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and I'm going to catch you guys all in the next